Well, hello guys, thanks for watching. I wanted to do a review of my 2019 Ford Ranger, and for all of you who are considering a Ford Ranger in the year 2020, I've already contacted the dealership, I've looked over all the specs, I can't seem to see anything that's changed. But I wanted to do a review. I know that there are many out there, but I wanted to do it from the perspective of an actual hunter, outdoorsman, and sportsman. So yeah, you might find some of the minutia is missing from this review, but I think you'll find a lot of other stuff that you just don't see anywhere else. Thanks for watching. I did like the overall look of the Ranger versus the Colorado. And again, for me, as you saw today, I need every bit of ground clearance that I can get. But I just love the mid-size segment. I love being a little slimmer and trimmer on the trails with less brush and trees, you know, scraping my sides. I like the way it fits in a garage. I like it for when my wife drives it, she doesn't have to worry about parking so much because it really is slim and trim. It fits anywhere you want to go. I'll probably end up putting a 2-inch leveling kit on it eventually with a slightly larger tire, but one, I just love the way that this front end looks. It looks more aggressive to me. You know, you got the bash plate, of course, I mentioned. You got your tow hooks there. The Ranger embossing there. I just think it looks really sharp. I did add this grill guard or bug shield there. I don't know which it's supposed to be, but we'll see. I think it looks pretty nice. So as I was saying, one of the reasons why I love this vehicle is for that ground clearance, because the other truck that I was looking at, the Colorados, had 8.2 inches of clearance stock, and the Ranger had 8.9. Anyway, here you can see some of this underbody armor. It's just it's plastic, frankly, but it's much better than nothing, and I sure used it today when we got stuck. Here's another little piece right there. Again, a couple views from underneath. Here's your spare tire and mounting apparatus for the tow hitch. This is what it looks like underneath. Here are your FX off-road tuned, you know, more heavier duty shocks on the back. You know, a truck is a truck is a truck. But I did like the looks a little bit better than the Chevy. It's got the newer fuel tank, so when you gas up, there's no cap. There's your FX4 badging. My tailgate's down. I do have a Gator tonneau style cover on the back. So here's your bed. You'd be surprised what you can actually fit in that bed. I'll show you a little bit later. Tie down inside those little flaps. There's tie downs. Tie down in the corner. I do have the bed liner in here. The Ranger got grief on some of the reviews because the tailgate is not a dampened tailgate. So, you know, you have to grab that, but it is made out of aluminum. It's fairly light. It is not an issue for me. I guess it is for some people, but not for me. I love the Ranger embossing on the back. The thing I love also about these mid-sized trucks, no matter what one you go with, they all tow, you know, 7,500 pounds or so. And that's just crazy for a 4-cylinder engine. Here's your, you know, your towing. Pretty standard these days to have both styles. Here's where you lower your spare tire. Your backup camera is just right under there, under the logo. So that's nice. Not sure if today or maybe tomorrow we'll hook onto this 24-footer. It's rumored that this thing is 6,000 pounds, so I'll tow it, you know, just 5 or 6 miles on the highway and let you see the Ranger tow something pretty heavy. So that was a really interesting experience. A couple things I noticed. One, yeah, it towed it. It felt a little too much to me. Not necessarily weight-wise, although it did feel pretty heavy. But you know, that's the biggest thing I've ever towed, and 24 feet off a mid-sized truck. It feels like I was pushing it there. And what was awesome though is that 10-speed transmission in tow haul mode that I put it in. I could really feel on the braking. It didn't feel like I was stretching to brake. It felt like it was smooth. It wasn't a big struggle to stop, and that's due to partially the automatic brakes on the trailer. But I loved the gears gearing down as I would come to a stop with that 10-speed transmission. It really felt like the gears were helping me slow it down. I don't know. So here's the interior. It's just straightforward, people. I'm not an interior snob. Again, I work this truck, so this is what it looks like. Just got back from being in the backcountry where it actually does get used. Some might say that the standard, close this door. Some might say that the standard display, you know, is a little small. I think it's 4 1/4 or 4.5 inches or something. I mean, it's not very big, but again, I'm not a huge guy into electronics, so I don't need anything fancy. I don't need navigation. I don't need anything braking on me. And if we go to this and put it in reverse, there's what you see. You get your guides as far as where you're going. It'll start beeping, you know, if you get too close to something that you are about to hit. So here are your the steering wheel controls, the cruise control over here, volume over here, some of your Bluetooth stuff over here. This is what the console looks like. There's a USB down there, also a 12-volt here. Stuff for a place down there for all your goodies and junk. Your trail control, your automatic shut-off is here, your rear differential that locks, your traction control, your sensors you can turn on and off here, and your trailer sway control here. Here's what the 4-wheel drive is. It's just a pretty quick, easy. All you gotta do is turn it to the left. You can do that up even on the highway at 55, 60 miles an hour. I think I'd have to consult the manual again, but you gotta go into neutral. Pretty standard to go into neutral before you hit 4 low. And if you use this terrain management button, I mean, you can actually see some shifting in progress. If you use that terrain management button, you can filter between, see, there's normal, grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand. You know, I don't know. Again, for me, I probably won't use that most of the time. I don't think there's going to be much difference there. Anyway, but overall, I've been super happy with this Ranger. You know, yeah, sure, I wish that we had lighted mirrors on the XLT model. You know, you got your place for sunglasses up here, rear view mirror, you got your lights here. Nothing fancy. You get the Ranger up front, Ranger embossing. Actually, I missed the other 12-volt on the other side. So 12-volt, 12-volt. That button right there turns on the bed light. So if you're in the dark, you can turn that on for some extra light. Interior lighting controls right there. And fog lamps on the left. The center console, there is adequate room there for 2 people to sort of have a little elbow rest. I don't know why it's got this funky shape, probably to make it easy to access that second cup holder. But it's fairly deep. You know, I got my pistol and my wallet in there, but it's got a sliding little thingamajig there. Here's what the back seat looks like. Again, I've got seat covers on here. I found that, you know, I can sit behind myself. I mean, fine. I'm not even touching the back of the seat, and you can see these Rangers have, you know, a cutout in the back of the seat to give you a little bit of extra knee space. You got your 2 USBs in the back, a little spot for a cell phone or other gear. You got your AC regular power outlet there, and behind these seat covers though, there's no flap to store stuff in, just FYI. One thing about this Ranger, this back seat folds back. It does not go flat. That was kind of one of the disappointments for me, but again, it's one of those little things for me. There's where your jack goes. One thing I should mention too is that this back seat it's all one full bench. I wish we could get a little 60-40 split here, but to lift it up, there's a little hand pull there, and there is storage underneath there for a tow rope. I've got fix-a-flat in there, jumper cables. Well, who doesn't want to get high-centered on a test review, huh? What's the matter with you, Mitch? It was me. It was me. The Ford comments are coming out from Brandon. So, you know, but he doesn't even drive American, so you can't listen to him. And I mentioned this earlier in the review, but that's exactly why this FX4 package comes with a underbody protection, front skid plate, and some, you know, light armor underneath the fuel tank and the transfer case and stuff down there, because we just high-centered back there, and it was sure nice having some of that protection on the underbody of the truck. So super stoked that we've got the FX4 package on here. There you go. I haven't had any issues with the stated claims of 20 in the city and 24 on the highway. I know that there was, you know, some controversy about that for a while, but that seemed to blow over after Ford did its own internal investigation. And anyway, I haven't had any issues with the fuel economy. Now, if we could just do something about that 18-gallon tank, Ford. Come on, guys. So for any of you who have never had lane keep assist, I've got it turned on right now, and you see those green lines next to that truck picture. Once I start to veer off towards the side, it's going to steer me back towards the other side. You see that kicked in yellow? Now it's, nope. Yep, it tells me to put my hands on the wheel. Good idea. Alright, so now that you know how that lane assist works, I want to just show you what it looks like from the road. If you've never driven with a car, it's got this safety feature on. I'm going to let go of the wheel right now. We're going to drift off here to the left. And you see there, it's starting to pull us back over into the right-hand side of the lane. Now we're going to drift right a little bit. It's going to pull us back over to the left. And here we stay in my lane, and my hands are off the wheel. Mitch, what do you think? I mean, honestly, just give your honest feedback of being in the back seat for an hour and a half.
So, looking at the outside of the vehicle, I thought there wasn't going to be a lot of legroom in here, but it's actually not been bad. Really comfy seats. Plenty of room. I'm not a small guy by any means.
How tall are you?
It's comfy. I'm 5'10".
5'10"?
Yeah.
It's about my size. So we were pulling into Idaho Falls here. We've been in the car about an hour, and we're still up over 25 miles a gallon. Slight downhill, you know, in elevation, but pretty darn good. So in these newer vehicles, they also have a side lane warning. So you see that light that just came on there means there's a truck or a car about to pass you. So it keeps you from, you know, sideswiping somebody. So that's kind of nice. So let's look at the under the hood. Looks like battery. And this thing really does get up and move. You know, for example, let me switch this around. I had a 1996 Ford Mustang GT that at the time in 1996 was rated 0 to 60 at 6.7 seconds. And I think this Ranger's clock time is 6.9, I think. It's somewhere right underneath 7 seconds for 0 to 60. So it's kind of crazy how far we've come. Same stuff. So tow 7,500 pounds, get up and scoot, get into the backcountry. And frankly, one of the other things, can I just tell you, it'll fit in my garage. Very easy peasy. This door is open all the way. Again, it's not even touching the side of my wall, and I mean, I have plenty of space here. On the other side, if you've got another vehicle over here, again, this is a little bit wider garage. It's probably 22, 23 feet. But even in a standard size garage, these mid-sized trucks are going to give you a lot more room in the garage and less door dings from kids and whatever else. All right, so my wife and I have a party we got to go to, but I got to sneak over to the Chevy dealership to finish this review. because I want to take a look at those mirrors on the Colorado just to give you an idea to see if I'm right. I mean, these mirrors feel a little large to me for a typical mid-size SUV or truck. And because I tow a trailer, I like that. These seem bigger than other mirrors that I've had before on my Jeeps and Ford Explorers. So we're gonna go fill this thing up, give it a bath, because I nastied it up today, and measure those mirrors. All right, I'm gassing up here, and I got the Chevy spotted over here on the Chevy dealership, and I got a perfect cover because I'll pretend like I'm after one of those trailers. We'll see if I can make it in and out without a salesman. Probably not. Anyway, that is the Ford Ranger, folks, and it's been a super great vehicle for me. You know, no matter what mid-size truck you might be looking at, you know, frankly, I think they're all pretty solid. I test drove multiple Colorados. I didn't test drive the Tacomas, but you know, a lot of things I looked at in the Tacoma that I liked as well, but I just went with Ford. My dad had a couple Rangers growing up, so there was some sentimental value there. Ford, you know, had some pretty good deals going on that nobody could touch, and I don't know. I've owned a lot of Fords in my life, so I thought I'd give it a try, and it was brand new, kind of exciting. So, good vehicles, good vehicles.